Welcome to the State Cross Country Preview on YourLiveEvent.com. Minnesota style. We had the North Dakota Cross Country Preview a few weeks ago, and now Saturday, St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota. The State Cross Country meet, all classes going. In Class A, we have three schools immediately representing Section 8A and Region 8A. That would be the Perham Yellow Jackets, boys and girls section champions, state champions in 19. Also, not only the Yellow Jackets teams, but also the Hawley girls. And there will be three representatives from the Lake Park Audubon boys team and one from the girls squad as well. We had a chance to catch up with all of them leading into the race as we gear up for the State Cross Country meet in Minnesota on Saturday.
Jeff Morris is the coach of the Perham Yellow Jackets boys and girls cross country teams, which will have quite a delegation at the state cross country meet, the state Class A meet, that is. Start with the girls first. 5 in the top 10 and 3 through 6 individually. That's an excellent day's work.
Yeah, we did a really good job at the section meet. The weather was nice. It's been kind of cooler for the last couple of weeks, so it was nice to get a day where it was warmer and didn't have to worry about, what you were going to wear for the race. And we've been fighting some sickness in our team, especially, a week before, so it was nice to kind of get everybody healthy. The guys, it's still kind of lingering a little bit, but the girls went out there and we trained really hard going into sections and competed really well.
How close were you to your girls to actually coming in first there?
For the girls at the section?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, our girls team won it.
Uh-huh.
Our girls team was first overall, and then our closest girl was third place overall, Gracie Morris. She was third overall in the section meet. So
I assume that's someone you know a little bit.
Yeah, that's my daughter.
Okay. And Ella Hendrickson next, Quincy Anderson fifth, Maya Morris was sixth, and Caden Breed, if I'm saying her name right, was ninth.
Yeah, Caden Bride, yeah. And it's kind of fun because a couple of them are new kids this year. Obviously, last year, Maya, my other daughter, was missing because of an ACL injury, so she missed last year, so she's back in the lineup. Caden Bride's a new face to the lineup. She's a first-year varsity runner. Gracie was in there last year and competed at state last year. Quincy Anderson's a face that's been around for a while, along with Maya returning to the lineup. And then Mariah Theraldson, who was 15th overall, she's a first-year varsity runner. So it was a lot of fun to have some of those new faces and then with some people who are veterans.
What kind of a mix do you have as far as grade-wise?
It's kind of all over the place for the girls. We've got a couple of seniors. We got Quincy, Maya, and Mariah are seniors, and then our alternate, Lauren Rustad, is also a senior. So we have our top 7 runners and our 2 alternates. And then we have Gracie, who's a 9th grader, Ella, who's an 8th grader, Caden Bride, who's a 9th grader, Lilu, who's a 9th grader. So it's kind of fun to have that mixture of a lot of different grades where some kids kind of mentor the younger kids and to know that, have that experience, but at the same time, build for the future to continue to reload and build moving forward.
Did the girls kind of start out wanting to run as a group, trying to stay together as much as possible, or did that just kind of happen?
No, they do. We talk a lot about it. We have this saying in practice, we call it touch a teammate. And literally it's being close enough to where you can touch your teammates. And that's where your confidence lies. When we go into a race, we're always saying, find each other. And we literally have girls that will physically actually give a tap on the shoulder during the race, just to remind us, say, hey, I'm right here. I'm right with you. And it's just a good feeling to be able to look beside you on the left or right and see somebody you train with every day and know that you've done the workouts, and that's where your confidence comes. We have a couple people that get out front and run. Gracie's our front runner. And the girls kind of key off her. And then we have, each group is kind of finds their rhythm. The goal is to get that pack as close as possible for that spread from your first runner to your 5th and 7th runner to be as small as possible. And even in our workout yesterday, that's what we were working on, and they do a good job of that.
That's got to be really tough to do with the more people you get into a big race.
It is. You have to really establish position right away and find each other and be able to navigate the pack. And we talk a lot about that in practice, and we practice it on some of the trails that we run. We do our workouts in the woods and on trails. So we practice in pretty tight spaces, and they've gotten really good at shuffling for position.
Now, looking at the boys' side of things, where you also wound up with the team championship there, if I remember correctly, Bjorn Anderson won the individual title. I was looking at your website, and it says, "You run, we fly."
Yeah.
Winning that meet by 14 and a half seconds, Bjorn Anderson, I think, was flying.
Yeah, he was really, he's a neat kid, and it's been fun to watch him develop. He's just a sophomore, and for him to come into his own this year and really make the jump that he has, he's one of the top runners in the state right now. And he sets the tone at practice with our senior Micah Thompson and just the guys that train with him, Caden Dahl and Carter Flatto. These guys are really committed. They put in a lot of time together in the summer, and when you've put in the time, you can get out there and fly and run it, pretty fast clip, and it doesn't phase you too much.
You mentioned Micah Thompson. He was third in the Class A, the Section 8A meet, I should say, and then 11, 12, and 15.
Yeah.
Again, do the guys kind of have the same mindset as far as wanting to kind of go together in a pack?
They do. And we didn't run, like our section meet didn't go, it kind of had a little bit of hiccups. We had some kids that week were really fighting some sickness. We actually had a fever run through our team that week. And we've actually have 2 kids that are still kind of recovering it from, but they should be ready to go by Saturday for the state meet. And it kind of hit everybody at different points. So one of our normal top 5 guys, Carter Flatto, was really struggling that day. And it was neat to have Braden Glorvigan, who is usually our 6th, 7th runner. He stepped up as the 5th runner that day. And it's nicer when you get those guys. They usually typically, we have Bjorn that's kind of our front runner, and then Micah, and there's just 4 to 5 guys that are usually right within 10 seconds of Micah. And that's kind of the goal going into state and coming out of sections. We know that's something we have to do. And it's something they've consistently done all year. And we just got to get all the way healthy before Saturday and hopefully can get that done.
There has been such a level of success over the years with the Perham cross country team. Champions in 19, 20, I assume was kind of wiped out by COVID.
Yep.
I didn't get a chance to look at what happened last year. What is it about the Perham cross country program that consistently produces champions?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just them. If you ask a kid what is the most important thing to them when they run in our program, it's just being a part of the team. It's feeling like they have a place where they can hang out with their friends, they can train together, they work hard. All the kids, we have 90 kids on the team, 7 through 12, and those 90 kids, they all get out there. And one of the things we started doing this summer is keeping track of our miles and actually logging it all together. And we actually logged as a team 10,000 miles this summer. So we could run across the country, I said 4 times. As a team, and that's something that they've bought into, and just realizing that most of the hard work that they need to do needs to be done in the off season, and that's led to us being able to, for boys, this will be our 21st year at state in a row, and our girls 20th year, and guys will be trying to run for their 9th state title, and girls will be trying to run for their 5th state title. So.
Something else I noticed too is that not only all-state runners, champion runners, but also academic all-state. That's got to mean quite a lot to you.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see them get it done in the classroom. We put so much emphasis on making sure they take care of their school first. I'm nitpicky at school every day. Obviously, we can't go and micromanage every kid. But one of the things that we do is right away when they're in first week of practice is we give every kid a running buddy. So your older kids are paired with somebody younger on the team. So we have a senior with a 7th grader, a 11th grader with an 8th grader, and all the way down. And usually your 9th and 10th graders are together, and they're accountability partners throughout the school year. And so when you get to the end of the year, we have lots of kids that are always eligible to be academic all-state. You have to have a 3.75 GPA or higher, and you have to compete in the top 15 in the section meet. And so our kids are always eligible because we put such an emphasis on them doing well in school. And so we had 4 guys and 3 girls that were eligible this year, and all of them did it. So that was a lot of fun to see.
Got to be the kind of thing that makes it easier to get into a college or even say a college running program.
Oh, absolutely. That's the first thing that colleges always ask. Okay, what kind of student are they first before we even start talking about their athletics? So it's really important.
Have you got some of these kids who might be running at the next level in the future?
Yeah, I think so. We've had quite a few kids that go on and run in college, and every year I tell kids it's not for everybody. Some kids want to close the book and be done with their high school experience and go on to just, a little bit more low key of an experience in running and just going out and running road races or just staying in shape. Every year we have kids that definitely consider it. We've had my daughter My oldest daughter, Maya, has went kind of through the recruiting process. She's actually going to go play basketball in college. Have a runner, Micah Thompson. He could go run in college. He's probably going to also go play basketball. But then we have some of our younger kids that are definitely looking like they're going to go and run in college, like Bjorn or Kaden Dahl or some of the younger girls like Gracie. That's kind of their first love. So it just depends on what they like the most. And, we never put that pressure on them. We want them to go do what they want to do.
Okay, let me just kind of wrap up here. How's the course at St. Olaf, and how do you figure to do on that course?
So it's one of my favorite courses. It's very similar to our home meet. We run at our home meet every year, and we've designed our home course pretty similar to the state course. We can't mimic some of the hills because it's pretty flat and Perm. But the terrain is very similar. It's a lot of grass fields. You got a couple of sections in the woods. You have one loop on the prairie loop. So the first mile is an out and back kind of in the woods. Your second mile is in a prairie loop, and then your back miles in the woods with a pretty good uphill and a pretty good downhill. Our kids love the terrain. We run there at the beginning of the year, and then we end here. So our kids know the course, and we always seem to run really well there. And I think kids expect to hopefully go out there and run some personal bests.
All right, Jeff Morris, coach of the Perham cross country teams, boys and girls. Best of luck at state this weekend.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Joined now by Nathan Stowe, the coach of the Hawley cross country team. The Nuggets girls qualified for the state cross country championship, but at the Region 8 meet last weekend, they were second in the team competition. And right behind Nathan, actually to the left in the blue shirt is Lily Olson, and in the gray shirt is Ivy Tickel. They were 11th and 12th. Ivy was 11th and Lily was 12th at the region meet. Congratulations to everybody.
Thank you.
Ivy, what was it like running in the section meet?
It was pretty difficult. It was probably the most difficult race I ran this season, and it was pretty windy too, which didn't help, but I think it was pretty good.
What was it that made things difficult?
Like the wind and probably the competition of the race.
Mm-hmm.
Hard because we were just all we kept going back and forth. So, yeah.
Lily, were you able to stay close to Ivy? Was that kind of your idea for running the race?
Yeah, so we have been kind of running together all season, kind of going back and forth. So we are really good for each other, to push each other. And I think that when we work together as a team during the race, we both run faster. So I think, yeah, that was definitely one of the goals of the race, was for us to be able to go out and finish close to each other.
What was it like when you found out that you had actually done enough to qualify for state?
It was very exciting. It was also, it's kind of it kind of just felt of course we were going, because it's just we go a lot, I guess. So I just felt I'm really happy and I'm really excited, but I was also yeah, we should go. We earned it. We worked hard.
Nathan, is that kind of an attitude that the team has had all year?
To a certain extent, I don't see any, we talk about it, and they are, we do the mile split thing, and we stay and the girls do it whether I tell them to or not, but we stay pretty involved in just knowing what's around us. And why wouldn't we? I mean, I coach basketball in the winter, and we have scouting reports, and that's how, if you didn't have that, somebody would think you're not doing your job in the winter. So the same thing in the fall, is we pay attention to those teams that are around us, or who's going to be at that meet, but always with an eye towards sections because of the advancement portion to it. So yeah, we knew that Park Rapids had a really fantastic second half of their season, and that Coach Richard, who spent some time with me when he was student teaching here in Hawley, he's done a phenomenal job. And and that team, which had a few seniors to it, was really coming on. And we had been crawling's the wrong word, because we've been running pretty well. It felt like limping is probably the better word, because we had been hurt so much. We'd run 2 meets without 3 of our top 6. And then we had been without Trista Bear, who ran fourth for us at sections. We'd been without her for almost a full month. And so, and got her back that day for her first race in that time. And and she was a significant piece, obviously, to the puzzle. So just, my joke was, I feel like we're holding this whole thing together in some sort of MacGyver style, whether it's, tape, KT tape, paper clips, bubble gum, whatever it takes, we're trying to hold it all together. And I thought of the 4 trips, we know the one wasn't actually a trip with the COVID year, but of the 4 straight runner-up finishes, that this to me was one of the most rewarding, right there with the first one. The first one, it was new. It was something that hadn't been done for decades in the program. But this one was just, we've kind of been on a roller coaster the whole year. And so that made it rewarding. And like I said, it wouldn't have been nearly as rewarding, or we wouldn't have had it happen if these girls didn't bring great attitudes and great effort each day to practice and then to the races.
So for Ivy and Lily, I'll ask you now, what's your goal for the state meet?
So I think we're ranked like 11th right now. So my goal is probably top 10 or better.
Yeah, I would say that to finish as high as we can as a team would be good. I mean, we're probably not going to finish that high, but I think top 10 is a good goal. And I also think that just trying to run our best and like prepare our best, like individually and together, and also mostly just to have fun, honestly. Like, I'm just really excited to go to state and enjoy it and spend time with my team as like in the hotel and at the meet and everything. So yeah, I think that's the main goal, is just to have fun and enjoy it.
I'm guessing you've had a little experience with the course at St. Olaf in Northfield, where the state meet is going to be run. What do you think about the course, and will that experience of being there before help you?
I think it's my favorite course because it's really pretty and it's really nice and nicely set up. And I think it'll help me run since I've been there before, because now I know like the areas where it's like I should work harder here because this is where we'd slow down. So like in the Prairie Loop, that's where usually everybody slows down a little bit. So now that I know that, like, I'll keep pushing through and run a good time because of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I like the state meet a lot because I think that the grounds are very like beautiful and the course is really different than anything else we run because it's a specific cross country course. Also, I agree with Ivy. I think that we'll probably run faster because we know exactly where everything is and we have like talked about it as a team and kind of like strategized for it. So I think that that'll definitely help us perform better.
Anthony, I want to get a chance to mention the other girls who are part of the team that's going to state.
Well, okay, so these 2 ran 1 and 2 for us, and we're all section, as you mentioned. We had an 8th grader, Michaela Jelnick. She's been pretty consistent in our 3rd spot this year, and I think there's a big breakthrough coming for her. I just hope we don't have to wait until she's a freshman, because I think there's one really big race left in her where she can kind of cut the gap and maybe make this duo into a trio sooner rather than later. Mentioned Trista Bear battling back through injuries. She's ran 4th for us at sections. Rachel Swan, an 8th grader, dropped about 42 seconds or something like that. It was 40 plus seconds or so, and PR'd at the section meet, which was big for us in swinging that team race. Senior Bree Nelson, who was an all-state quarter miler for us, she ran 6th, and she's been hampered by some ankle injuries, so we're hoping to get one more, squeeze one more really good race out of her. And then Drew Downer. Sorry, I can't forget Drew. She's PR'd 3 of the last 4 races, and she PR'd at sections on a leg and a half. She's had a knee that's been barking at her here, so we've been working with the trainer, and she's, again, like I said, she is as gutsy as can be for the runner that she is, and she's, again, if she PR'd with a bad knee, I can only imagine how good of a race she could have run if she had 2 good legs there. So hopefully some of this treatment that she's getting will allow her one more really good race at sections or at state, excuse me. And then our 2 alternates are Kaylee Grandstrand, she's a 7th grader, and Sophie Cook, who is a sophomore. So that will be our state meet team.
And also want to give some recognition to Ben Giesland, who qualified for state on the boys' side.
Yep, Ben is our first qualifier since Ivy's brother Satchel qualified his senior year, which I think was 2017 cross country season because he graduated in 18, 19.
He went 18.
18. All right. Well, since Satchel graduated, so and he had gone, I think he went with the team and then twice as an individual as well. And so Ben is our first since then. And our boys team, which Ben was obviously the leader of, proportionally is probably the best team that we have had in recent memory. And the 2014 team went to state. The 2015 team took third at the section meet. We were just in a loaded section with Perham and Park Rapids, both of which could end up on the podium, come Saturday night. So big shout out to our boys team. They really worked. We can't think of a time in recent memory at all that we had 5 guys that were 17:45 or faster. And these guys laid those down as their season bests and PRs this year. So no, it was a very good season for the boys. They just happened to be a little bit unlucky. We wish there were wild card spots for the team, but getting Ben back on the squad this year really helped, solidify that team and gave a nice leadership presence within the practice element as well. And so I was really happy to see his summer work and his in-season work pay off and earn that trip to state, which was a big goal of his.
Okay, hopefully some good things for the Hawley Nugget cross country team coming up at the state Class A cross country meet. That is going to be at St. Olaf in Northfield on Saturday. Ivy Tickel, Lily Olson, and Nathan Stowe, your coach. Thanks very much and best of luck.
It is the yourliveevent.com state cross country preview here today, getting ready for Minnesota State cross country meet coming up on Saturday in Northfield at St. Olaf College in the Rolling Hills. As we look forward to the conversation with 4 Lake Park Audubon Raider student athletes that qualified for the state cross country meet, and very exciting stuff for these individuals. They're all on screen with you right now. We can first welcome Ellen Schauer joining us, a freshman. And Ellen, I know when we talked a little bit off our conversation here, we talked about as a freshman, how many times did you qualified? And you go back even to the COVID year, it's 3 years qualified, which is really exciting. What's it feel like to get back now again this year to the state cross country meet?
It's really exciting. Yeah, can't wait to go again. Last year was my first year going, so I'm hoping to be a little less nervous this year and have more fun.
That's right. And I remember, okay, so let's just sneak back to COVID here real quick. So you qualified, but there wasn't an official state meet, right? There was one that kind of got run, but it was not an official state meet that year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Now, to last year, same course. What do you remember from the state meet course a year ago?
It was a really beautiful day, so it wasn't cold at all. Yeah, it was great conditions. The course was great too. We walked it the day before, and yeah, got to see people in my box that I ran for sections. So that was really fun.
For you, what's your personal record?
My personal record is my time.
Yeah.
1949.
Okay, so recognizing that this course is incredibly challenging and times may be variable and conditions and all that, what's your target time that you have for yourself on Saturday?
I'm trying to stay in the 20s. Yeah, because last year I got it in low 20s, so I'm hoping to beat that this year. So yeah.
And what's your driving energy? When it comes to cross country, it's a lot mental. You got to be in it physically too. But what's the driving force for you that helps you power through a race?
Usually it's the runners that I run against. So I usually try to pick a runner and stay with them. So that's what drives me, my competitiveness. Yeah.
And as a freshman, this being year 3 qualifying, obviously you kind of set yourself up for the expectation to qualify every year. So what's the ultimate goal for you?
State's usually my ultimate goal, but I just like to have fun. It's really fun to be with all of my runners at school and stuff. So yeah,
What's the most challenging part or aspect of cross country? What would you say?
It would be probably when you're running, just telling yourself I could stop right now or I could go slower. But yeah, it is a really mental sport. You just have to keep pushing yourself and tell yourself I can't stop running.
Really cool stuff, Ellen. I'll come back to you before we're all set and done here. Let's enter in some of the boys here in conversation. Taylor Johnson, a senior at Lake Park Audubon, qualifying for state cross country. Taylor, congratulations to you. For you as a senior, what's it mean to qualify for state?
You know, it's really awesome that, especially since I got to go last year, to make it back again this year. It's icing on the cake for senior year. Yeah.
Was looking at, kind of the anticipation, right? Perham, perennial powerhouse, boys and girls, right? Section 8. There's going to be some open spots though, some individual areas to get at. Was your ultimate goal to just to place as high as you could, or what was your onset goal? Just to get to state, or what was it?
For sections, my onset goal was to be one of the top seniors to place overall. So first was obviously Bjorn, and then the next senior, or the first senior, was Micah, and from Perham, and I stuck pretty close with him.
Do you have a pack that you like to kind of stick with there as far as your concern? With your normal race, running around that same competition.
Yeah, the normal pack that I stick around would be Thor and Charlie Larson, and sometimes Micah.
Okay. How do you feel you're stacked up here now in the state? Where do you feel you'll place, or what's your target?
My target for placing is obviously top 25, so get all state honors. Top 10, get a medal. So that would be really awesome if I could do that.
You mentioned going prior. So what's this course like?
First mile, it was really, really fast. I was like 20 seconds fast, to my pace. So just getting out and not going out too hard so you die on the hills at the very end, but still not getting stuck behind the giant mamba people that you're running with.
I hear it's quite an experience to state. You go to some of those bigger meets, you get that the big gathering, the big group, the big rush. So what's the state experience like?
It's like any other big meet, except it's times 10, because it's just everybody's running hard. It's literally the last race of the season. Got nothing else left. So you give it everything you got.
What's your driving force, or what's the main reason you're in cross country, Taylor?
Well, when I started, the whole purpose was to get endurance for wrestling. And then from there, I just fell in love with cross country. So what drives me to go faster and keep going hard is knowing that I've done harder things in wrestling, and it makes it easier to push harder when I run.
Taylor Johnson, a senior at Lake Park Audubon, qualifying for the state cross country on the boys side. Get a chance to bring in Seth Torgerson now, another senior for Lake Park Audubon. Seth, hey, congratulations to you. What's it mean to you to get to state your senior year?
Oh, thanks, Phil. It means a lot to me. I've been working pretty hard for it. Been running cross country for 6 years. Never really thought state was an option. And this year, I guess we decided to push it and just barely qualified for it. Pretty hyped for it.
Yeah, you should be pretty excited. Anytime you can get qualified is huge. How much was it, your teammates sitting beside you that helped push you to get to this spot?
I never would have made it without them. We always talked about our practices outside of practice. I compared myself to them and tried to push it just as hard.
A lot of miles go in. What's a typical day like for you? Do you run every day, or do you have even off season, let's say?
Off season, I try to run every day. It's different in the winter because there's not many places to run in Minnesota because it's cold. But for school days, I'd usually wake up a little earlier, get 5-6 miles in, and then do practice. And then the day before the meet, I won't wake up early. And then the day of the meet, I won't do a morning run.
It's all about the preparation, isn't it? I mean, you have to really be ready both physically and mentally, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I've never run cross country. But you really, you talk about getting miles in outdoors. It's important, isn't it? Because you can't really simulate it on the treadmill.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just, Yeah, it's really boring on a treadmill too, is my biggest thing. And it just hurts more. I'm just not good at running on a treadmill.
You think that after high school you're going to continue running, Seth?
Yeah, probably not for college or anything, but just, for friends. It's a good community. It feels good to be part of something bigger.
And it seems like there's a lot of 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, full marathons. Are those any of things that you'd like to maybe attack in after high school?
Yeah, I think me and some friends are talking about running a marathon this summer. Fun.
More power to you, young man. What are you most excited about for the state experience here this week?
Probably just to see all the people down there. It's cool. Pretty jealous of Taylor last year. He made it, so it feels good to go down there and run instead of watch it. So
There you go. Yeah, having teammates there is, I'm sure, going to mean a lot. I know that, Ellen's up there. She's going solo, but, we'll have support from you guys. But you guys at least are on the same course, which is got to be a little bit exciting.
It is.
Well, Seth, congratulations. Good luck to you. We'll bring in Thor Erickson, sophomore. Thor, you qualify as a sophomore. So, I mean, obviously that's an incredible scenario. You're excited about that. What's it mean to you to get into the state at this stage?
I don't know. I'm just really excited. Looking for a fun time as a meet. Hoping to do something fast.
Yeah. What's your personal record or PR?
16:32.
Okay. What would you target, or what are you targeting as you head into St. Olaf this weekend?
I'm hoping to come within about 10 seconds of my personal record.
Okay. You think that having that, the state, that the state tournament, state meet attached to it, does that get you extra, I don't know, motivation / maybe some extra adrenaline that might help you push?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely does have gives you a little more reason to push it.
Cross country is really becoming quite popular. I know that there are more and more fans getting out to meets. Some meets are really difficult to be a spectator at outside of the start and finish. I got to imagine you're excited to have a pretty large crowd at Northfield this weekend.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. I always find that the bigger crowd, the faster I run. So hoping it's a ton of people there.
Thor, why did you start running cross country? What was kind of the driving force behind that?
I started running in COVID year because our football season got canceled, and I wasn't planning to stick with it. I only decided to stick with it about a week before the season started the next year, and I'm just happy I did.
Absolutely. You talk about just the type of friendships that have come of it too. I'm sure you made some good friends or have some similar. Talk about that. Just that I know you guys mentioned community within the cross country community. So talk to me about that. What that's kind of developed for you, Thor.
I don't know, the running community. Everyone seems like everyone's friends with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's really cool. I feel like you don't get that in any other sport.
It's a different deal. It's a totally different deal. Do you feel you set yourself up now as a sophomore that this is the new standard for you, right? State tournament for the next couple of years, or is that kind of the expectation in your mind?
Yeah, that's definitely.
I'll ask you a different question I haven't asked anybody else, Thor. How do you get ready for a meet? How do you get excited? Like, what are you a music guy? Do you have a routine ritual? What works for you?
I don't know. I like to listen to music for up to about like a half hour before the race starts, and then just get locked in and focus in.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Thor. Congratulations on qualifying for state as a sophomore. Good luck as you get ready to rock and roll here this Saturday at St. Olaf Northfield. We'll go around one more time. Ellen, is there anything else for you to add or anything else to share that of your excitement of getting ready to go to state?
No, nothing. I'm just super excited, a little nervous, but yeah, it should be a good race.
Taylor, anything else from you?
Not much. I just hope everybody runs really hard. It's going to be a good course, good meet. Have a really good feeling about it. So
It's good. Should have some positivity. How about you, Seth?
Excited to kind of get the last run out of the way. It's going to be a little sad, but excited for new beginnings.
Yeah, I can imagine. A little bit bittersweet, right, as a senior. So I can see that. Thor, anything else? I know we just wrapped up with you, but anything else from you?
I got nothing.
You're going to have to carry the torch. You and Ellen are going to have to carry the torch after Taylor and Seth graduate. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you guys all, congratulations. Best of luck to you and Coach Sapa as well, as you represent Lake Park Audubon at the state cross country meet. Visiting with, again, Taylor Johnson, Seth Torgerson, Thor Erickson, Ellen Schauer, LPA Raider cross country runners to the state in cross country this weekend, St. Olaf College. Thanks for catching up with us. Joe Lancello and myself, Kevin Kochman, making an opportunity to visit with all the student athletes and coaches in our area that represent the state cross country meet. State cross country preview for the state of Minnesota. Again, racing is Saturday at St. Olaf College in Northfield. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the sponsors, yourliveevent.com.